Okay, so we saw that European Commission aims to achieve climate neutrality, let's say until 2035. So in the forum that the agriculture will join the LULUCF sector. So what do you think? Which factors will be the most important, let's say, to gain more zinc in the LULUCF sector?
I'm sure that considering LULUCF sector, the main zinc capacity is given by the forest land, but we need to produce food, and so we have a limited capacity of the land use change and forestry sector. Therefore, I think that we need urgently to cut emission by the other sectors, also from the agriculture sectors. Also.
Yes, I also think that the major potential is within the forestry sector, forest land. As I mentioned in my presentation, care should be taken to avoid calamities like currently progressing in Central Europe. So having smart forestry systems adapted to ongoing progressing climate change is the way to proceed, combined with smart use of harvested wood products, which will help offsetting CO2. And then concerning agricultural land use that covers cropland and agricultural land, there is a significant potential to increase sinks in those land use categories. Maybe you have noticed there has been a paper in Nature Communications last maybe months. It's a very recent paper on maybe hidden potential of carbon storage and accounting for it on agricultural land. That paper noticed that there is a significant way of, there are some measures that could increase carbon fixation also on agricultural land, but the paper warned that the current methodologies to account for them may not be sufficient or good enough to capture that. So maybe that's the two points to contribute.
I think for Ireland, it's a mixture of managing our organic soils and of planting more trees, and for us those things are interlinked. In terms of managing our organic soils, we have a lot of drained peatlands that are basically grasslands now. The knowledge around that needs to be improved as well. It's very uncertain how the state of drainage and how drained they are and the emissions that are coming off of them. So we need to address that gap as well. But we have a lot of work to do with planting trees. We just have a huge number of trees that need to go in the ground. Looking more broadly than that towards agriculture, for us it's a big question of facilitating diversification. Lotta mentioned that in Finland there's a lot of urban foresters. We don't have that scenario at all. Our foresters at the private scale are farmers, and it's in the mix with other things that they do, and so it's providing the right environment to incentivize them to plant trees on their land, and not just on any land, because historically that's all been done on marginal land, but for it to be on good land that won't create these problems with emissions.
Maybe to answer on kind of two perspectives. One, in a policy making, one I will refer to Emil's picture where we had the EU emissions, the big red pillars. We could all see them Then there were the small LULUCF zinc pillars, which we could hardly see. So the focus should be in reducing the fossil emissions. Then, of course, looking at the LULUCF sector, there is things to do, and putting the zinc and the source in a same pillar, that creates competition and can take us to the next level. But then, like I said in my presentation, I'm worried that the forest-rich countries will have to pay the price in euros in well-being. So it's a challenge.
Ja. Bomo se zdaj kar pridružili veliki dvorani, mogoče samo da sklenem tole sejo. Zdaj vidimo, da brez prizadevanj, napora v tem sektorju pač ne bo šlo. Ne? Se pravi, bistveno, kar je pri tem, je, da v bistvu bomo mogli nameniti kar precejšnja sredstva, v bistvu investirati v te ukrepe, tako na področju kmetijstva, kot na področju gozdarstva. Po eni strani se nam v bistvu gozdovi starajo, ne samo v Sloveniji, ampak tudi v Evropi. Zato bomo mogli v bistvu malo bolj aktivno pristopati do gospodarjenja z gozdovi, da bi zagotovili ohranjanje ali pa celo morda povečevanje ponorov v prihodnji, se pravi tudi z večjo proizvodnjo lesnih izdelkov, se pravi shranjevanje ogljika v lesnih izdelkih, in pa seveda v bistvu tudi trajnostno uporabo zemljišč kot takih. Ne. Tako da zdaj vas kar vabim lepo, da se pridružimo v veliko dvorano, kjer bo pa še skupna razprava. In pa vsem predavateljem najlepša hvala za prispevke in pa za predavanja.